So we're asking once again, are we on the brink of a regional war, or do those twin assassinations go some way to restoring Israeli deterrence? Well, our Middle East correspondent Ariel Osserant is here with us in the studio. I'm also joined by Dr. Meir Javid Danfar, Iran lecturer at Reichman University.
Thank you.
Good to have you with us. And in Bahrain tonight, columnist and geopolitical analyst Abdullah Al-Junaid. Great to have you with us again, Abdullah. Welcome.
My pleasure, Laura.
Ariel, I'll start with you, if I may. Let's just talk through the potential lines of attack from the Islamic Republic that the Israelis are considering right now.
Yeah, look, we need to be cautious when we try to foresee the future, but if we gauge where we are in the current trajectory, we can look at previous events that Iran already set a certain equation following the attack in the Iranian consulate in Damascus. Now, this is seen as an even more, according to, in their eyes, a more flagrant violation of their sovereignty, and so we can expect to see at least what we saw in April. Why do I think that it will be more or less in the same MO, but a little bit more forceful? That's because back in April, we saw Iran launch missiles and drones. We saw pro-Iranian militia in Iraq and the Houthis in Yemen. We did not see Hezbollah take part in this. And this time around, they have skin in the game, so to speak, following the elimination of Fouad Shukr, who was laid to rest just a couple hours ago in Beirut. So that's one thing. Another thing, I just want to note that following the April attack by Iran, we learned that prior to that attack, Iran had notified its partners of its intent to strike and how it would strike. And last night we saw Iran's acting foreign minister Ali Bagheri hold a series of late night phone calls to his Saudi counterpart, to his Qatari counterpart, and this morning he also called his Egyptian and Turkish counterpart. Now, we shouldn't necessarily read too much into that, but if we're looking at what happened and...
It might be giving them advance warning of what is to come. We don't know exactly how Haniyeh was killed. We don't know officially who killed him, but we do know that Iran has been soundly humiliated. It must respond. How do you think that response will
it's an embarrassment. It's a huge embarrassment for Ayatollah Khamenei to have one of his most senior guests. I mean, in terms of foreign guests, in my opinion, after Sheikh Hassan Nasrallah, I think Haniyeh comes 2 or 3 in terms of importance. It's very important in terms of symbolism and also Iran's influence in the region. To have somebody like him to come to Tehran as a guest and to be assassinated, it makes Iran also look bad in front of the Iranian people, the regime, and of course among its allies. You know, a lot of these regimes, they use the concept of security and providing security to the people as an important legitimacy factor. But to have to see such a dictatorship humiliated by such an attack, it also has domestic repercussions. So not just in terms of establishing deterrence abroad, it's important in terms of domestically for the Islamic Republic to respond. But I'd like to conclude for now by saying it's not going to be easy to maintain an ongoing conflict, even a low-intensity conflict with Israel, because the treasury that Mr. Pezeshkian received from the late Mr. Raisi has only $170 million in it, with an M. That's enough to pay the civil servants in Iran 2 or 3 days. So they face significant economic pressures. So they will attack, but the Iranians will not want to get involved in a tit-for-tat for an ongoing period with Israel.
Okay. Abdullah, I'll come to you. First of all, what do the moderate Arab states make of this very audacious assassination in the heart of Tehran? What has been the reaction? And would the Arab countries come together to defend Israel if it chose to attack as it did last time?
First of all, I'm sorry, Laura, but I detect the description of moderate Arab states. Well, just normal states. I mean, this is one. 2,
yes.
Would we come to the rescue of Israel or defend the region's security? That's 2 different aspects. Now, for us to defend collectively the stability and the security of this region, Israel, first of all, need to start listening. Now, with the action that Israel has adopted for the last, let's say, 72 hours or more now, it may be a turning point. And Israel need to rethink its strategy. Could this be something that bridge certain gaps with regard to the regional perspective wise and start building on that? Or is it going to continue fighting in Gaza with no horizon for prisoner exchange or hostage exchange and cessation of hostility, and then enabling a regional effort to come into Gaza, as UAE have announced earlier, something like a few weeks back? What we need for Israel now is to evaluate the situation based on tomorrow and not today.
But when it comes to Israeli deterrence in the region, Abdullah, do you think this has been a show of force, what we've seen over the last few days?
Laura, Israel is part of CENTCOM. The whole region is part of CENTCOM. This is one. Two, Israel is a co-signee of the Abraham Accords with so many countries. And whether the region like it or otherwise, Israel is a natural, integral part of this region. And definitely we would like very much for the de-escalation as soon as possible. But that doesn't mean that anybody going to sit idle in terms of broadening the horizon of this conflict. Yesterday, or on the day that Shukur was targeted, the U.S. naval forces have launched, targeted Hezbollah or somebody, Hashd Shabi bases in Iraq. And that is, again, a very clear message to the Iranian that we are on your border as well, and Israel is not alone. The current deployment of two amphibious landing craft plus what has been support ships like Early Brooks destroyer off the shore of Lebanon is also a measure that may send Iran the right message.
All right, thank you, Abdullah. So, Ariel, Abdullah, if I'm wrong here, Abdullah, correct me, but Abdullah seems to be saying Israel should allow its allies in the region to take some of the heat, to also help to keep stability in the region, and acts like such as this might destabilize the region more than bring peace.
Well, I don't know how much Israel's partners in the region are willing to really embark in an over-the-table partnership with Israel. We did see in the April 13th attack, we saw Jordan get involved, and because the Iranian missiles flew over their territory, so they had to down them. Same thing with the Saudis. But if what Abdullah's recommending is to have a regional summit to establish a regional defensive mechanism, that's great. Where do we sign? But I'm not sure Israel's partners are ready for that, and you can see that by the current status of public relations between Israel and Bahrain and the UAE. They're not at the same level as there was before. Just for example, a few weeks ago there was a meeting between Israeli, Emirati, and American officials to try and to discuss the day after in Gaza, but that was held in secret in Israel. And I think one of the reasons for that is because the Emiratis don't want to show that there's too let's say, willing to show partnership with Israel in this point in time. So obviously, I agree with Abdullah that this is the right solution. I don't know if the conditions currently on the ground enable for that.
All right, Abdullah, real quick, and then I want to get a response from Meir.
Okay. I mean, Errol, it was the UAE ambassador to the UN who announced that plan or that proposal. It wasn't something that was done, off the table or something like that. It's official at the highest level. What Israel need more? For the whole GCC leadership to come to Tel Aviv, for instance, Israel need to take a step. The first step is to address the issue of Gaza. I mean, we can't follow what Israel need all the time without Israel giving a little bit of a ground for us to maneuver diplomatically or otherwise.
All right, Mayor, you're in agreement there.
Absolutely, 100% with what Mr. Al-Najad, Dr. Al-Najad, I'm sorry if I'm mistaken. Absolutely, 100%. All these operations, they're spectacular in terms of planning, whatever happened in Tehran, whoever did it, and the killing of the Hezbollah officer by the State of Israel. Incredible. But it's all tactic, not strategy. It's like being able to pass the goal masterfully, like Messi, but not being able to score a goal. You don't win a game by being able to pass. That's tactic. You win by scoring goals strategically. We're not doing, and to find a strategic achievement for us and for our friends in the region, such as Saudi Arabia, such as Bahrain, such as Emirates, we need to find a solution for Gaza. And it's not coming. And let me tell you something, this makes the Iranians happy. I was listening to a conversation between conservative Iranian analysts who were talking about what an incredible defeat it was for Iranian security that this event happened yesterday. But they said Israelis are excellent at tactics, but they're not good at strategy. And you know what? They're right.
When you say a solution for Gaza, what do you mean?
To find first of all, to find a solution for the hostages, and then to find a replacement for Hamas in Gaza. At the end of the day, it's our Gulf partners who know the best. We are very lucky to have the United Arab Emirates, incredibly lucky to have United Arab Emirates willing to step in to help, and we should work with them. But unfortunately, all this is being sacrificed on the altar of political interest of Prime Minister Netanyahu, because he doesn't want to give points to his he doesn't want his partners, Mr. Ben-Gvir and Smotrich, to get threatened.
Okay, Ariel.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with my two esteemed colleagues here. Israel is not showing the initiative, is not showing any proactive measures to try and formulate this regional partnership, and I agree that it needs to come from Israel. The question is there enough willingness to conduct this over the table at a time like this? Yes, there was a statement at the UN, but I don't think that's enough at the moment.
Let me throw something in there then, perhaps, Abdallah, if you'd like to respond first. I mean, it's difficult, isn't it, to think about an alternative leadership in Gaza before Hamas is defeated. We've talked about this before. But now Haniyeh is dead, Mohammed Deif is gone, Marwan Issa is gone, numerous big household names from Hamas have been eliminated. Do you think that is enough for Israel to now step down and say, OK, now it's time to negotiate, it's time to end the war in Gaza definitively?
I think during the Arab Summit and Bahrain, it was made very clear. The Palestinian Authority need to do a lot of work internally before they will be invited to play a major role in Gaza the day after. Two, what we need is to cross over the hurdle. I don't think Hamas is going to continue carrying out military operation in Gaza when they see the PA, Jordan, UAE, Egypt, UAE, Bahrain, Morocco, and other friendly forces in that region. When we start doing something on the ground, I don't think Hamas going to jeopardize everything. Even Qatar doesn't stand with Hamas the way it was standing before, whether it's by hook or a crook. The whole equation has changed. Now, it's not the matter of Israel need to think regionally. The minute Israel start to change the way it thinks, it's going to reach out to let's say, the turning point in formulating something that's going to be benefiting Israel and the region at the same time.
Okay, Abdallah, we appreciate it. I'm going to let you go. Abdallah Al-Junaid, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thanks, Abdallah.